And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our new chairman at the British Hospitality Association, Nick Varney. And for anyone who's met Nick, I think they would definitely agree with me that he is a passionate advocate for hospitality and tourism in the United Kingdom. He's actually worked in our industry for 25 years. He's been the driving force taking Merlin Entertainments from a £50 million buyout in 1999 to the massive FTSE 100 company that it is today. And all those who know Nick as I do would also agree with me, I'm sure, that he is never shy of expressing his opinion and absolutely steadfast in his views and his vision, which is why we're so pleased to have him as our chairman and very pleased to have him here today to address you all. So please welcome Nick Varney.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the summit. Please forgive me if I don't start this speech with the humour I might originally have intended, but the tragic accident at Alton Towers just the last month, and indeed the recent events in Tunisia, have sort of served as a stark reminder of how the health and safety of our millions of guests and employees really are the bedrock of the success of our industry. And for our part in Merlin, our thoughts remain with the people that were injured, and we continue to do everything we can to support the families and the injured from the Alton Towers incident. And within Merlin, we have really been conducting a review and a stress test of every single safety measure that we had in the group already. But I think on a wider note, really what this just serves to underline is the fact that as operators, the safety of our guests is our responsibility, no matter what the cause of individual accidents or incidents, and it must therefore always be our number one priority. And I know that nobody in this room actually has any doubt about that, but I think it's worth restating just the same. So moving on to other matters, we have had a general election, and I guess for most people here, it produced the right result. However, the new Conservative government, from my perspective, presents as many challenges as it does opportunities. And by way of illustration, let me show you something that actually not many of us saw during the general election campaign, other than on our televisions. Can my slides come up? Oh, sorry, it's gone. So here we have DC and George, but it could have been the two Eds in hard hats, high-vis vests or white coats, visiting manufacturing plants and high-tech laboratories where proper jobs are being created. No photo opportunities in new hotels, guest houses, restaurants or attractions, or actually even supermarkets for that matter. And of course, the implicit inference from that is that within government and large parts of the Conservative Party, jobs created in hospitality and tourism are not proper jobs. And by the way, anybody who was present at the Conservative budget briefing in March will have heard a junior minister actually remark that we do not need any more, quote, Costa Coffee jobs. So there is quite a big challenge here, because as everybody in this room I know will endorse, jobs created in hospitality and tourism are proper jobs. They are incredibly valuable to this economy. They represent over 1/3 of the 2 million jobs that the government is very happy to claim that were created in the last Parliament. Without these jobs, youth unemployment, already too high, would be catastrophic, and the welfare bill so much higher. Without these jobs, there would be no entry level to rewarding careers for skilled and unskilled, qualified and unqualified alike. So what I say to everybody here today is to use this summit as a rallying call, not only to the BHA as an organisation, but to every member individually, to make the case forcefully to this government and any of the main political parties about the real value that is created from tourism and hospitality. Because getting government to understand that is the key to the door for a whole load of policy objectives that we need to pursue to maintain the competitiveness of our industry internationally. And I'm talking about issues like tax and VAT, where we need to be able to compete on a level playing field with our main European rivals. We have real momentum behind this now, with over 100 MPs, nearly all of the main political parties outside of the Conservative and Labour parties, don't know which one of those is main anymore, really pushing this, a really good momentum, and we have to continue that battle. Also on visas, as those of us that are engaged in businesses that rely on foreign tourism, it's good that last year there were more inbound tourists, but I can tell you now that the weakness of the euro versus the pound, we can all see is having an impact on London tourism in terms of European visitors in particular. And under those circumstances, the continuation of somewhat Byzantine visa regulations that deny the huge burgeoning export market that is China to the UK needs to be addressed. There are some moves that are beginning to happen on this, but they need to be taken further and much faster than they are at the moment. Then there's the whole issue of employment legislation. I think it's time for us as an industry to stop being lectured at about things like the living wage, but to be engaged in the constructive debate so that we can move that agenda forward without risking jobs in the future. It's a really big issue. And finally, I think there's an inherent contradiction going on at the moment as well, because I think there is more and more regulation, more and more cost being foisted on existing operators, and at the same time, government is encouraging an almost laissez-faire attitude to the so-called disruptors in the sharing economy. And that just simply isn't the right way for this industry to be taken forward. So there are some really potent, big issues here that we all have to address. One in which the BHA, under the excellent leadership of our Chief Executive, Ufi, will play a relentless part, but which in all of us have also a big role to play. In the meantime, we should all be very, very proud of our industry. Its success, its diversity, its ability to create meaningful jobs and give young people rewarding careers is something that we should be, as I say, really proud of. So thank all of you for your contribution to that, and please enjoy the rest of this summit. Thank you very much.